Good morning, everyone. Today is Monday, July the 8th. We've got ourselves a market that will not stop rocketing to the upside. We've got some measurements that we can see. My thought is that we slow down a bit right here, and we have a little bit of mean reversion. So here's what we've got looking. We started trading early this morning, and the high of Friday is 555.05. The high of today, 554.92. My gut thinks that any move up over 555 will be some sort of volume exhaustion. Now, I could be totally wrong, but this is my thought. So, what are we thinking about? Well, we're thinking about a retracement potentially of Friday and Wednesday's trading motion, and maybe a little bit sideways. Let's take a peek at Econo Day. Easy here today, the 8th. We got a little bit of nothing going on. Consumer credit is at 3 o'clock. We should have a little bit of noise there, but overall, going to be a quiet day, not particularly news-driven, though earnings season will have some sort of impact. I don't have any idea who's reporting, but my gut suggests that this short week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, is going to bring us back into here for the retest. That'll give us our next leg to the north. Okay, now, why am I thinking this? Remember, I love the measured move event. Let's see if we've got a 50% range action here from the low to high. Well, probably not quite 50%. So let me clone this and see where the 50% line would be. That would be 556. So perhaps that 556 area is round and about where the blow-off top ends up, and we come back into the fade. All right, pullbacks are still buy zones. But don't think this is a runaway train. It certainly is not. Let's take a look at Qs, but the numbers to watch are 551.14 for a pretty solid buy zone. Ideally, I would like for it to come in and test 550 or a little bit below and then give us the bounce. That would be nice and clean. It might take a couple of days to do that, but that is what I am seeing, rotation down into this edge. When will I be wrong? It's got to bounce, hit above 556, and stay there. And then 558, 559, all the way to 560 as the next ledge. I'm really glad we took those butterflies off, or else we would be in the negative. But we took it off for a very tidy profit. And we'll be setting up another butterfly here in just a bit. All right, taking a look at the Qs, same sort of thing. Let's draw the box. Breakout formation. High to low. We're going to clone the rectangle, and oh, this one's right at the 50% marker already. Let's see. The high of Friday, 496.60. The high of the overnight is 496.51. So, same sort of thing here. This is right at the 50% marker in the Qs at this 596 area, 596.60. Above that for the blow-off top takes us to 505. I don't think it goes there. Maybe it wants. Maybe the traders want to try and test 500. Okay, so that I suspect would be the topping formation. We're going to look for range expansion that collapses. So if you buy the breakout, you're going to have to be quick or you're going to be dead. And then you're going to take profits as soon as your 1-minute candlesticks stop giving you new highs. It's going to be that tight, okay? That's my suspicion. Fade into a moving average is very likely. It's 482, might take a couple of days. My thought is we rotate back into 490 to 489. Let's take a look at the ES. No, I do not smoke cigars. Allergies are killing me. Pardon me. We just got this test. Again, let's look at it. What's the high from Friday? 56.26. Beautiful. That's that high. I don't think we get over it. Again, same exhaustion expansion. 56.24 is the high so far. Our next line in the sand is quite a few expansions above the measured move. Let's put our, sorry about all the throat clearing and all the whatever. I'm so sorry. This wick throws a wrench in things, but I'm not going to measure that wick. I'm going to take it from here to here, and I'm going to duplicate. Oh, I hate sniffling. I'm going to clone this, and then I'm going to carry it up here. What? Up over the edge. Okay, Emery, the chart has told you that you must include the wick. You must include the wick. That's a key takeaway, folks. Key takeaway. All right, let's clone it. And then, come on, Fred. That looks about right, in line with everything else, 50%. Right where it's sitting, folks. And then 56.45 as potentially the blow-off top that causes a reversal formation. We'll know more about this as we get into the midday Zoom report that we have for the Benzinga members. All right, levels to watch. Henry, when's it going to be really nice for a buy zone? My thought is the breakout formation, 55.86. That's what we're looking for. Is it going to get there in one day? Probably not. Could it move further down? You betcha. Heavy congestion all the way down at 55.35. But this expansion looks very long in the tooth to me. And so we're going to watch for range expansions. Yes. Can you buy it over here? Yes. But you better be ready to take profits in an instant, because that's what the chart is telling me at this juncture. Collapse into those tight moving averages, and you can see what's going on. Excuse me, the tight time frames, and those moving averages will tell you, hey, is this thing still moving up? The candlesticks will tell you, hey, how far am I away? Am I still making higher highs, higher lows? What's the storyboard? This is well over 50%, right? Eyeballs tell me that. Do I want to put another Fibonacci up there? Why no, I do not. All right, so well over the 50% marker. I'm going to eyeball it right there and say that this might be around 20,670 or so. What's the high? 20,635.75. What's the high right here? 20,635.75. So the Qs, or the NQ, is pushing against this edge. Watch it to blow out. We know how the Qs behave when all the sellers jam there and they don't get to sell right away. You'll see that big expansion up, and then you will see price action reverse. That number to watch on the reversal edge is a Fibonacci expansion, 20,777. It's the only way we really are able to measure moves on charts that are testing new highs. What's the pullback space? Well, the first one is 20,419.50. And then the next one is going to be about 20,280 and some change. I suspect a lovely step down into the motions that might take us all the way to 20,240. Do I think it happens today? No, but it could. Volatility is expanding with the size of these candlesticks. Volume coming down, but that's got nothing to do with the acceleration of price, okay? Nothing at all. Let's take a look at the YM. Holy smokes. All right. I love this, okay? Truth, I'm going to be trading the YM today. Why? It's in a nice, clean pocket. I can see that sellers are up here on the edges. I'm going to go to this edge right here, and I'm going to draw the box. So my box is essentially from the area of 39,877. I'm going to borrow one of these lines, and I'm going to put something there at 39,877, 875, something like that. And I see that I've got these higher lows, and I am not far from my moving averages. So what does that tell me? If I see a dip today, potentially into 39,488, it's going to be a nice trigger for me. I am going to create an alert at this line. I love trading congested charts, as if you haven't guessed. And that's going to be my dips being the buy zones. Could I trade in the negative rotation to it? Yes, but I think I want to wait. Do I want to take a short someplace? Yeah, I think I'd like to take a short up here at the potential collapse at 39,875. What am I going to do when it gets there? I am going to step to the side, see if it expands into 40,000, and then watch it collapse. I am not going to have a limit order there to go short. What's going on with oil? I don't know if these guys are in rotation yet. You know, this happens every month. Let's take a look at the breakaway formation. Wow. Hard to say where this one is. I'm going to gander that is it. The breakaway at 81.87. And whoa, look at that. Ha! Up over the edge, but right at 83.72. Remember, the CTAs are up here into 85. They're going to start rotating out of their positions right at that 85 zone. And we are seeing that. Wow, look at that. So if we break out above here, I don't think that's going to happen, folks. But if we do, we've got another run because it's going to put them back-footed and it's going to run all the way up to 86. All right? That is my suspicion. Where's the buy zone? 81, we test the moving average, 81.60-ish. So I'm going to put an alert there also. That is going to be a nice one. Might want to trade the micros there for those of us in a top step combine for the dip being the buy zone. Otherwise, you know, I do believe there's going to be rotational pressure here down at 80. Let's take a look at gold. This thing is moving like mad. Look at it. We drew this last week, and I apologize for being away so long. I just needed a little break, had some time with family, stuff still going on at the homestead with my mom, and so a little bit tight. Now, if this continues, and it could because the dollar looks pretty weak today, right? So if this continues upward, we could test this 2,400. No doubt about it, commodities are going to start taking an upswing if the dollar continues to weaken. If the dollar fades, that's going to push these up. If the dollar bounces, by and large, it's going to push these down, okay? Heavy congestion sitting right where the chart is sitting at 23.88. We are underneath the highs of Friday. Let's set an alert for the break above Friday. That's a Maribozu candlestick, right? It's a candlestick that's got no wicks or no shadows underneath it. And this says, hey, traders are pretty excited about upward pressure. If we don't break it, it means that this is likely an exhaustive move, and we're going to come down and test 2350. That's, I'm going to watch, because I'd really like for it to come in and test 2332 as the original breakout zone. That's going to be my happy place for long in gold. All right, everyone, take care, stay alert, and I will see all you Benzinga Pro members at the midday.